Welcome. I'm Cassie Graves, the founder of Fed Options Consultants and Information Services, or FOCUS. And today we're going to be talking about the FERS contributions. So let's jump into it. There are two retirement systems, the CSRS and the FERS system within the government agencies, but we're only going to be talking about the FERS system today and the FERS contributions. To be eligible for FERS, most employees would have had to begin after 1/1 of 1984 within the federal government, and that would automatically put them in the FERS system. Now, some people are FERS transfers, and that's people who've had some CSRS service and who have transferred to FERS, but today, and we'll actually talk about them in a little bit, but for now, we're going to be talking about the FERS contributions and what that looks like for federal employees who were hired within the FERS program. So, in order to contribute or in order to be vested in either of the systems, whether you're from the CSRS or the FERS system, you must be vested for 5 years. What does that mean? Well, vesting means to contribute to a program for a certain amount of time, and then you'll receive a benefit because now you're vested within that program. And the same is true for FERS. So with the FERS program, then an employee can contribute to the program for 5 years and be eligible to receive a pension eventually. When that pension will happen is another thing that we can jump into in another video. But for the purposes of this video, again, we're only talking about the contributions and what an employee contributes to that FERS program. And this will depend on when the employee was hired. So again, FERS employees, regular FERS employees, I should say, contribute a lesser amount than special provision employees. And so all employees, though, that were hired after 1/1 of 1984 will contribute into the FERS program. So what does that mean? Again, you'll contribute a percentage of your pay, and you can see here we have those percentages listed: 0.8%, 1.3, 3.1, 3.6, 4.4, and 4.9%. Again, it will depend on if you're a regular FERS employees or special provision FERS employees, and when you were hired, that will determine the percentage that you contribute to the program. So anybody hired from 1/1 of 1984 and let's see, to December 31st of 2012 will contribute the 0.8% or 1.3 if not only did you get hired originally at that time, but you also had 5 years contributing at that rate. That's what kind of locks in that percentage factor for you. So if anybody had a break in service and you were hired prior to the 12/31/2012, and you had 5 years contributing the 0.8% as a regular FERS employee, and then you came back to service, you'll probably contribute, or you should contribute the same amount. But anybody hired 1/1 of 2013 to 12/31 of 2013 contributes 3.1% into the program. And for special provision, you always contribute 0.5% more. That's why you see these higher rates for the regular employees or for the special provision employees rather than the regular federal employees. Now, anybody hired after 2014, so after 1/1 of 2014, will contribute 4.4% to the retirement program as a regular FERS employee. Again, special provision, you'll be a little bit more. FERS transfers always will pay the 0.8% because you're already been vested in the CSRS program, or otherwise you would just be a regular FERS employee if you didn't have the 5 years in that system. So what does this look like? Well, you're eligible to participate in all benefit programs because you're contributing to the retirement system. And again, hired before 1/1 of 2013, you're contributing that 0.8% of pay. Hired in 2013, you're in the FERS-RAE program. That's the FERS Revised Annuity Employee. Essentially, what happened, I believe, is the system needed more contributions going into the program for those retiring. And so, lo and behold, there was a little bit of a math problem, and they had to increase those contributions for the FERS employees so that they can get what they need to pay the other people. But that's just about how it works with any other program, right? Anyways, those hired 2014 and later, again, you're in the FERS program, but now you're in the further revised annuity employee program, which is why you contribute that 4.4. Special provision employees, again, you always contribute that 0.5% more. But special provision employees, who are those? That's your law enforcement officers, air traffic controllers, Customs and Border Protection officers, and firefighters. So all of those who have to carry a gun and who have a rigorous activity for their job and endure that kind of job title as a special provision employee and get to have a little bit different of not just how much they pay into the program, but also as far as eligibility, retirement, and things like that can be slightly different as well for special provision employees. But anyways, this that is it for the FERS contributions. Again, remember if you are a FERS employees, in order to be eligible for a pension eventually, or at retirement when you choose to leave service, and you have to have a minimum of 5 years vested into that program, and then also meet other service year requirements and age requirements to fully retire. Or if you're going to leave service early, you will get a pension if you've at least contributed to the FERS program for 5 years and decide to leave the government. And then if you reach age 62 and you have not done anything with your FERS contributions, then you're eligible for a pension at that time. But we will talk a little further about pension eligibility and retirement on another video. Thanks so much for joining us today. Have a great day.